So, hi everyone. I was going to show how to create a AI-powered website, and we're going to do that using three tools. So one is Google Antigravity, IDEs, Integrated Development Environment. So it's an IDE, which I'll show you what it does. That's a bit unique compared to others. We're going to use Versal, which is a hosting platform, and GitHub. And so what's going to happen is we're going to develop an Antigravity. We're going to post to GitHub, and then we're going to let Versal connect to GitHub to run it on a website. So this is going to have a lot of different steps. I'm going to kind of do them in order, so we'll kind of get going right away. So we're going to start by downloading Google Antigravity, and we're downloading Windows x64 because that's the computer I'm on. And I haven't used Antigravity on this computer yet, so this should be fairly similar to what you're going to see. So we're going to accept, next, 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 and I'm going to create a desktop icon, next, install, and then it's going to go ahead and do the installation. The cool thing here is that we're going to use AI agents to build this app for us. So we're not going to do really any coding. There might be a couple of things that we put in just to make our life easy. But yeah, and then we're going to use Google APIs for all of the API keys and stuff that we're going to use. So we'll get to that as we go along. Now, one nuance is that you are likely going to need the $20 a month paid subscription, but if you're working with a team, that could be down to like $5 each, and then you just cancel it at the end of the month. So this is Antigravity. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger, and there's a couple of different modes here, but let's first make sure that we're logged in. So Antigravity settings, account, and your plan, Google API Probe. So this is where you would log in. I've already logged in. I think I had this installed and then I deleted it to show it to y'all. So you'll need to log in. You're going to need, I think, the Pro plan, at least the Pro plan. If you can do it with the free, the Pro will allow you to do more. So it's going to be doing all the coding. So it's going to be using up its coding. So right off the bat, I just want to come here and show that there's two modes to run this thing at. So one mode is this, essentially, where there's an agent mode and there's a code mode. And so we're going to go agent mode for now. And I'm going to leave this one in the background just so you can kind of see a little bit about what it's doing. So agent manager, so they have Gemini 3 Flash, which will probably do, mostly because I haven't tried it yet. I've been using the Pro. But so Agent Manager allows you to work with agents, and then it's going to update the editor. So we're going to go next. We're going to open a local folder because that's going to make our life easy. We're going to go to the desktop, new, and Antigravity. So we'll just make one folder for Antigravity, and then within it, we'll create a new project. So we'll call this CBL Idea Evaluation. And that's going to be the program we're going to create. It's going to take an idea that you have for a project, and it's going to evaluate it. So we'll select the folder, and we're going to trust the folder and continue. And do you want to trust them? Yes, I want to trust them. And this is the main screen we're going to be working from. So a couple things. One, you can have multiple agents working on one project at a time. So don't feel like you have to be constrained to one. Second, as agents are working, if they get stuck or they need approval or you to read something, they'll leave things in your inbox for you. So we're going to start a new conversation in CBL, Idea Evaluation. I'm going to switch this because I'm curious to the Gemini 3 Flash. If they're highlighting it, it should be pretty good. And then we have to make an app. So we're going to start specifying this. So I want to create a web application to help students evaluate project ideas for challenge-based learning. I want a clean web interface with a modern look. It should be connected to Google Gemini and take an API key from the user for the Google Gemini connection. The user should be able to select the Google Gemini model they want to use. The user should be able to view and edit the prompt if they want. There should be a box for the user to input their project idea. After clicking a button, it should return an analysis with appropriate scores, evaluation, and recommendations to improve. All projects should be founded on the United Nations development goals, but United Nations sustainable development goals. Let's create it'll create the plan for us. I'm not going to say that, just so you see. It's in planning mode and Gemini Flash, and so now we're going to hit send, and it's going to generate a plan for us. And you see it just starts working. So it's going to think, it's going to analyze, it's going to start creating the task. And this is actually faster, so this is nice. So it says I've created a plan for it. I'm going to open that, and I'm going to actually show. So it'll provide these plans, and it'll talk through. Some of this stuff is technical, some is not. So you can come here in two ways. So like, let's say we didn't want this. We could literally add a comment, and it would start. You could say, I don't want to use this, or I want this changed, or I want this improved. What we're going to do actually, though, is come to review, and we're going to say, update the plan to work to use Versal, which is what we're going to use for hosting, as the hosting application, and GitHub integration. And we're going to submit that. And you see now it's taken, it said, take this plan, do this update. So we're going to use Versal. So use Versal here. And so now it's updated the plan. It said, hey, we're going to, create a repository. We're going to use Versal environmental variables. And then what I would do is, since this is kind of foundational, I would ask it to review the plan to make sure it's robust and going to work. Now, it normally will come back and say, yeah, everything's great. So we're going to see. So it's going to scrutinize it, the implementation. He's digging into it right now. So reviewed it for robustness, security, explicitly handling API key client side. So that's going to be great. Server won't have the API key, so I'm glad that's there. Robustness, add error handling, load state, state presence, and the UX, user interface. SDG evaluation, use structured prompt for easy integration. So we're going to go ahead and click proceed. And it's going to start creating this for us. So it's literally starting to go down. Now, you're going to see it's going to ask permission to run commands. And so I'm going to do this for a little while and just click accept. And after a while, I'm going to get probably tired of it, where I have to click accept every time it wants to run a command on the command line. Now, this is a security thing, so you have to make a choice. Do you trust it enough to run things on your computer without review? We'll see. Maybe in this will just, so I've updated a plan, instead of vite npm as node is not available in the current environment. This will be easier and effective. So, okay, fine. I don't know what a lot of this means. So we're going to trust it. And it's generating. Just that. And here, I'm just going to watch it work. So it's literally coming in and writing all of these. Kind of awesome. It goes through and literally just kind of checks off the implementation plan. And so it's working with the structure, the deployment versions, history, architecture, the UI, and then it even provides a validation plan. So you can go in, it can show you how to do all this. Okay, so I've completed the web app. And so, yeah. So let's see. Let's launch LAU and launch the app locally so I can test. And that Gemini Flash way faster than the other ways of doing this. So I would say use Gemini Flash. It's going to be, you'll be able to run it a lot more without hitting any limits. And this is doing a great job. So I wouldn't. So it needs permission to do that. So we're going to always allow. And you're going to see, so I attempted this, however it failed. You're going to realize that very quickly it's going to kind of work over itself. So work into the address bar, enter your Google. So let's try this. There's the actual code, but all right, copy this path, paste it into your browser's bar, sure. And there we go. That's the app that it built. So we've got a configuration up here, but the configuration's not showing anything. So what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to download the Antigravity extension here. So, where's extensions? Extensions. Chrome extension store. So I'm going to search for Antigravity. Nope, that's not it. Where is it? Manage extensions. Download more in the Chrome store. Where is Antigravity? Cover? Doubt. Antigravity browser extension. Chrome extension. There, Antigravity browser extension. Add to Chrome, add extension has been added. And now this will work. So Antigravity can open it and test it and use it. So we're going to come here and we're going to say, because we saw that close this and this and this, the configuration box doesn't open because we notice that doesn't work. So we want to fix that. And now it's going through and doing all of its debugging. And now it's refactoring. So it's identified the problem's likely, so it changed all this. So we can come back here, hit refresh, and hopefully, no, it's still not working. So let's try this. This is still not working. Can you test in the browser yourself? Let's see what happens. There, see it's installing the browser access. Open the URL. And you see if you were running multiple agents at the same time, they would, every time they get stopped, something would land in your inbox and it would give you a notification. Apply detective fix configuration. No more modules. Let's see, refresh this. Yeah, there we go. So we need an API key. The easy way, if you have Google Gemini or, the Pro plan, you can just search for Google API key and AI Studio. You can get your API key. I'm going to move it off screen. Oh, wait, okay. So it doesn't show the keys. So I'm going to use one and then I'm going to delete it, right? Because I don't want anybody else using my API keys. So yeah, we're going to click here, name it. So this is going to be temp delete, and that's fine. We can put it in there, and it's going to create the key. And integrations, temp delete, I can just copy the key, and then I'm going to move this off to the other screen. So here we would post in our API key. We can do that. My idea, do nothing. This is an idea, and then let's click Analyze Project. Please enter your Google API key into configuration. Well, I did, so we hit another error. So now I'm going to shrink this a little so I can see. So you want to use like the right labels for things because it's kind of learning as it goes along. So I can say after entering the API key, validate it, update the model list. So what this is going to do is it's going to check this and update this. So then that's one way we know that the API key portion is working. And then we'll get this going. So break up the technical parts and then just run it and see how it works. So we're going to proceed. We could have checked that. I probably should have checked that. So yeah, apologize for that, but I'm hoping that it does what we need. And if not, the nice thing is you just come back and you say, hey, this part's not working. And then it's going to go update. It's going to fix it for you. Once we get this part working, then I want to spend a minute talking about GitHub, and I want to talk a little bit about Versal. So that's kind of the plan. So, okay. And we can probably come back here, refresh, configuration. I can paste the API key, validate and fetch models, API key validated, and there's a list of all the models. That's what we're looking for. All right, project idea. I don't have any ideas. Analyze project ideas. So it gave us an error. And what we can actually do is come in and take a screenshot of it. Take a screenshot and copy it. I'll move that off the screen. Then I'm going to come here and paste the screenshot and say, I got this error. I used a validated API key and got the list of models. Okay. Can you help? Might as well be friendly. And send. Now it's going to generate its ideas. So it's analyzing the error message. It's thinking. Now, one important thing, like we're working on this web app, just know that like this can do this for all kinds of different things. But this is just one way that I found it to be interesting. So while it's working, I'm just going to close that and then see. Yeah, Claude Code works similar and it's fantastic. I think most people prefer Claude Code in general. I'm started with this and I like this. So yeah, you can try it any different way you want. And ChatGPT has theirs too, codecs and stuff. Fix error you're seeing, models, accurate URL construction. So we're going to refresh that configuration, validate and fetch meta. So we'll take that. Maybe we have to settings saved. All right. I don't have any ideas. Analyze project idea. Now it should be taking it out to Gemini. There you go. 0, target SDG, none. Here's your evaluation, recommendation. Yeah. So this should be bold, like the 2 asterisks, and like you could go back and forth now many times and like refine this. But what we're going to do is actually just go ahead and post this because it's working. So GitHub is going to be our integration between Antigravity and what we're doing locally and Versal. So Versal is set up, and I'll show you this in a minute. Versal is set up, you can point to a GitHub repository and hit go, and it'll build everything you need on the server, run it, and host it. And they have a very generous free version. And so that's how we're going to approach this. So we're going to come back here and we're going to say, all right, let's set this up in GitHub. Ask questions as we work. And I don't remember, I think I have to create a repository here anyway. So we're going to have it run that. And we're going to commit, initial commit, accept. Unable to auto-detect email address. Requesting Git. I've initiated Git repositories. So .git ignore are files that that won't be submitted to GitHub. What name and email do you like to use for your GitHub commits? So task. So name is Tim Hubbard. Have you created a GitHub repository yet? No. So once you create GitHub, we're going to come in and create a repository, and we're going to call this, what do we call this whole thing? CBL idea evaluation. CBL idea evaluation. Description, evaluate CBL ideas. This is going to be private. Add a README. Nah, nope, it's going to do all that. Antigravity is going to do all that. So, yeah, so we can copy this now. This is the link that it's asking for. And paste that. Send. And accept. Connect to GitHub. Sign in with your browser. Chrome. Now you see it wants to connect. Let's see if that worked. So we'll go to GitHub. Code. Git ignore. Index. Style. There we go. Yeah. So if we click on index, there's the file. CBL idea evaluation. Okay. So let's see if this works. So we're going to go now to Versal. I'm going to log in. See if that works. Yeah, no. You guys. Application code's been sent. Now, here we are. So we'll get to all this. All I want to show is a couple things. So we're going to start a new project. If you were starting for the first time, you wouldn't have any of these projects. These are just other things that I'm working on. Here's some statisticy type stuff. So when you do Versal, just sign up for the hobby account. That's what I'm using. It doesn't cost anything. And so the cool thing though is that we can come here, we can create a new project, and we can paste that, not the code that it gave us, but we can paste the GitHub new project. And then we continue. And it says, hey, yeah, we found this. This is me. Here's the description, framework preset. And then we just hit deploy. Project can be up to 100 characters. So project names. Yeah, I think we have to take this out. Deploy. Project names can be 100 characters long. It must be lowercase. Got it. CBL idea eval. Deploy. Sometimes you just have to try a couple times. So it should be pretty quick. It's just a very small file. There's not much complication to it. And now we continue to the dashboard. And now it's live here. So if I click CBL ideaval.versal.app, then I need to provide a Gemini API key. Temp delete. I'm going to copy it. I have it on the other page. Validate and fetch models. And we'll do 2.5 flash. And this is still a bad idea. And my 1.5 wasn't found. So maybe we need to save the configuration. Use that and then analyze project idea. Okay. So if we were to come in and do this, we would probably have it so you don't have to save the configuration, but instead you could just, um, just click Analyze Project ID and it would take the latest version of it. But in this case, it worked. So right now, anybody in the world can go to cblideval.versal.app. They would get this. They can click in here, put their Google API key, fetch and validate, pick the model. If they want to change the system prompt, they can, and then put their idea in and analyze it. And then you can imagine now you can add features, you can change things, you can improve things, you can make this bigger, but it's at least fully functional. It's online. It's AI enabled, so it is really using the Google API to get Gemini models out for you. And this is an idea of how you can use Antigravity with GitHub in order to launch web apps and through Versal. So the whole flow again is Antigravity can help you develop the app. Then you post it to GitHub, and then you point Versal to that GitHub repository. And now anytime that GitHub repository is updated, it's going to redeploy your system here. And if not, you can go in and hit a deploy as well. And you can see that it hasn't done the final polishing, but it's done all these tasks. And again, you can have multiple agents running at the same time. And so if we expand this, you could see we could come here and we could then say, write me a description of how this works. I need it for my final report. But I'm actually going to, start a new conversation. So now it's got a separate agent running, and then I could literally come back here, work with this agent on the software while it's writing the report for me. And yeah, so it's kind of looked through the files. Now it's thinking, okay, how do we do this? It's going to draft a thing. And then hopefully this works. And then I can stop the podcast. As you work through this, when you have questions, come and ask, okay? Generating, creating walkthrough, notifying user, generating. So project description, there's the description. And if you want to walk through, there's a walkthrough for it. So it's created those. You can then ask it to expand it, add citations, references, whatever. And all the time, it has that idea running here. And notice you can have multiple workspaces. So you can have multiple apps that you're working on at the same time with independent agents running many at the same time. And so this can become quite powerful quite quickly. But I'm going to stop the recording there. And if you have questions, please come ask. Thanks so much. I'll see you soon.